8:38. Thank you for joining us inside of the Africa Forum. It's Running African. Global Africa. Global Pan-Africans. We're scheduled to have in this space and this segment my sister, Kadian Harty. Kadian, you would have seen her on the debate, the political debates on your television sets last night. She's councillor caretaker candidate for the Claremont Division, former public community relations officer at the St. Anne Municipal Corporation. She's got a Bachelor of Arts degree in Media and Communication with a major in Public Relations, honors degree from the University of the West Indies. Mona, she's my little sister. Yeah, she kind of cut her eye teeth right here at IRFM. Kadian Harty. So we're expected to have Kadian now in the space. So Kadian, if you're hearing me, because I'm expecting you in studio, but I'm not seeing you, but I know you did a brilliant job last night on the debates. I know you did a really great job. And if there was a winner out of the debates last night, then it would be you. So congratulations on what you did and how you represented. You did very well. And I'm saying this objectively. So we're expecting Kadian in the space. She's not here right now, and we're not hearing from you, Katie, but we do understand that last night must have been quite something for you, and I wouldn't blame you if you go celebrate afterwards. But outside of that, let us know what's happening with you, because you're scheduled to be in studio right now as we look and go into the local government elections. And then at 9 o'clock, my brother and friend, Michael Belnavis, who is councillor caretaker candidate for the Otrius division, representing the Jamaica Labour Party. He's a businessman. He's a former mayor of St. Anne. He will join me live in studio. You know, when it comes to politics and partisan politics and so on, it is such a shame that we've carried it to the place we have carried it here in Jamaica. Because I'm going to be joined in this. I hope today would have been a day when I'll be joined in the studio by two very good friends, two people I like very much, two people I get along with very, very well over the years, without knowing their politics and caring about their politics. Kadian Harty and Michael Belnavis. Kadian is PNP, Michael is JLP. Don't matter one hoots to me. But we hope to have Michael in the studio, JLP representative for councillor. In a little while. That's one about 9 o'clock. So, Kadian, let us know what's happening with you, because we're not seeing you. In the meantime, I was telling you about the local government, the list of countries that's having elections this year. And I think we got to Russia and kind of got thrown off with other stuff. But anyway, Slovakia is having presidential election on March 23. The Solomon Islands will be having their general elections on April 17. Ecuador having a referendum on April 21. North Macedonia having a presidential election on April 24. Panama also having a general election, May 5. The Dominican Republic having a presidential election on May 19? South Africa having their presidential election in May also. Mexico having their general election June 2. Mauritania having a presidential election on June 22. Mongolia, their legislative elections on June 28. Rwanda having a presidential parliamentary elections on July 15. Croatia, their legislative elections on July 22. Mozambique on presidential on October 9. Uruguay having a general election on October 24. Chad, legislative on October October also. Namibia, legislative in November. Guinea-Bissau, presidential in November. Romania, presidential in November. Ghana, general in December 7th. Croatia, presidential December also. And South Sudan, presidential December also. You see, I like it when Shamara is here, because I'm talking and I just smell the coffee back at me. Thank you so much, Shamara. Wow. Good morning. If you've had your coffee already, good morning to you. Andrea, see that you had yours very, very early. Well, I just got mine because Shamara is in the studio. And so when she's here, my coffee comes round about this time. And so my coffee is smelling like really good. So it's Blue Mountain coffee. You don't have to ask nobody. This is like Blue Mountain coffee just wafting around the place and just, This is a black coffee, good for black people. Coffee comes from Ethiopia. Right, so that's what it is. Talking about Ethiopia. Ethiopia has been challenging. Well, Ethiopia has, let me say this without apology. Ethiopia has no recourse, no option but to go through Somaliland. Ethiopia has no option but to acknowledge Somaliland as a country. Somaliland is not part of Somalia. Let's get that right. All right? This is how they divided up themselves from time to time. I mean, originally we can go back to say the whole land is so and so. But in terms of how the borders have been drawn over time, Somalia cannot now claim Somaliland. Ethiopia is doing what Ethiopia has to do, which is to make an agreement with Somaliland to recognize Somaliland as a country, because nobody in the African Union recognizes Somaliland as a country. Nobody in the world recognizes Somaliland as a country, but Somaliland has its own administrative political setup, which is not part of Ethiopia, not part of Eritrea, not part of Somalia, but their own independent setup. They're just not recognized. And this is all political. So Ethiopia, I am 100% with Ethiopia. They have no option but to recognize Somaliland as a country, regardless of what you're hearing in the Western media, and then to make an agreement with Somaliland to have access to the sea through Somaliland, to X out and cut out Eritrea and anybody else who want to make Ethiopia, to turn Ethiopia, to enslave Ethiopians, economic slavery. So that I agree with Ethiopia. Well, let me take a break and come back. Let me take a break.
It's Safer Sex Week. The time by the Minister of Health and Wellness is
8:46. You're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. So here's the thing. What am I on about? So Ethiopia has recently, as the Africa Union Summit is underway in Addis Ababa right now, it is a shame to see so many African leaders in one place and they are not able to make their own decisions. They're engaged and involved in all kind of bilateral agreements and economic slavery agreements with the Bretton Woods institutions. I see Ivory Coast now with all of them, the biggest producer of cocoa in the world, gone back to the IMF. This is what's happening with the Ivory Coast now. We see Israel still has observer status at the African Union. We see these puppets. So many of them are puppets inside there at the African Union. We call it as we see it. We don't really have no time for fool around. And Ethiopia trying to survive. Now, Somalia has gone to the African Union complaining. Why? Because Ethiopia is about to recognize Somaliland as a nation, as a country, and in that way, the African Union will then have to recognize Somaliland, obviously a process, and then also the United Nations and so on. Okay. Ethiopia has been forced to do this because, as you know, the West-led coup and siphoning off of Eritrea from Ethiopia. All of that was one country. Siphoned off that. Ethiopia came out and agreed. At the end of the day, Ethiopia was forced to accept Eritrea as a nation. Now, Eritrea as a nation, as it is, has been too hostile to Ethiopia over time. Ethiopia has now become landlocked. This is a problem because you have Eritrea on that side and you have Somalia on that side and you have Somaliland over the other side. So in effect, Ethiopia, which is experiencing now a renaissance. Ethiopia is developing and has reached a level with the help of China that Ethiopia is now about to spread its wings in ways that we can't even begin to imagine. And I think it's brilliant what's happening with Ethiopia. But Ethiopia has no access to serious trade so that they can participate in global Africa and in the global economy in the way that a nation that is reaching Ethiopia's level should participate. That's a problem, you know. So Ethiopia has decided that, well, let's just look at our options. So Eritrea is charging us an arm and a leg to trade, to go through them country for reach the sea. Somalia is doing the same thing because they think they can't hold this over our head. It doesn't even make sense to go through Somalia because of the piracy and all of that. But Somaliland is right here. And nobody recognizes it, although it is functioning as a country, with not controlled by Somalia or by Ethiopia. I agree. Now, this is a problem. This is why the U.S., this is another reason for the United States and all of them to come down on the head of Ethiopia. They're trying very hard to get out the current Prime Minister of Ethiopia and the current President of Ethiopia. Prime Minister, yeah. They're trying very hard to do that because here is somebody who is thinking as a global Pan-African, also thinking locally and acting globally. You understand? And so they don't want that. They don't like that because look at the region again. Look at the region. We're talking about the Horn of Africa. Take out your maps, please. Google Ethiopia and Yemen on the map. Ethiopia and the Red Sea on the map. Ethiopia and Djibouti on the map. It is the same region, you know. This region has become, you know, what a song did say again? Some another shall be the battlefield. When the two sevens clash. Anyway, so Ethiopia that whole region is really that region of tension. This is where the global geopolitical tension is really happening right now. Did you hear Kamala Harris? She's in Munich. I don't know if she's still there, but she was in Munich on the weekend. She made 2 speeches. The first speech, the one where she's dressed in all black. Listen to that speech closely again. Go back and listen to everything she said. Listen closely. Don't miss one word. If anything, Google the script for it and see if she, whether deliberately or not, if she's not preparing the world, this is now global geopolitics in a way that we've never seen it in recent times, where she almost, if not, announced World War III. Listen to that speech. They made it come through her, because she never write it, so they made that come through her mouth, the black woman. She's the one who took that to the global stage and literally told us what America was about to do and what America is doing and how they plan to do it. And without apology, listen to that speech again. Unless America is just going around joking, that's one of the most serious speeches that we've heard in a long time from a vice president, because forget that it's Kamala, from a vice president of the United States of America. So I'm not seeing Katie. Katie Harty, where are you, my sister? All right, but yeah, so my sister is asking me if this is Yosundor. Yes, this is Yosundor, my sister. Also, Arlene, how you doing? And I'm hearing from, all right, thank you so much, Aldith, because Aldith says, Flight of the Bumblebee is not Paganini, but Rimsky-Korsakov. Rimsky-Korsakov. And she put a little musical note there to show me that she knows exactly what she's talking about. So thank you so much for that, Aldith, my sister friend. Some other things we have to deal with. Let me tell you quickly that I wanted to bring to your attention. So you might have heard by now that the UK and Japan are in recession. Remember, when countries like the UK get into recession, the first thing they do is start a war. And so we have to watch closely what the UK is up to. So the UK and Japan have both announced that they are in recession. There is a scaremongering tactic going on now where they're saying that Russia is putting nuclear weapons in space, and they are determining whether or not what is Putin going to do. I don't know if you heard that Iran has declared that Antarctica is its property. That story. Antarctica is an interesting place. Lots of discussions about Antarctica, you know. Lots of discussion. And all of them are just really phenomenal. There's one conspiracy theory that I'm hearing about Antarctica, and it, you know, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but the one about the ice wall. Have you heard the one about the ice wall? I don't know. Anyway. Now, here's something that I'm finding very interesting. There's an oil spill in Trinidad and Tobago, off the coast of Tobago, actually. And it's really controversial because we have a ship carrying tons and tons of oil overturning in the ocean, in the Caribbean Sea. And there's a terrible oil spill. It's not being reported on in no serious way, but I hear that it could possibly become a tier 3, which means that it would be very, very serious. It's now tier 2, but heading to tier 3. And there were questions about who the ship belonged to. Somebody said the ship had a writing on it called Gulfstream. We saw a press conference that a politician in Trinidad gave, saying that he got a WhatsApp message that the ship belonged to someone who was about to acquire some oil mining company or something to that effect. And so it is going on around and around. But it's getting worse. We understand the spill. It was first spotted by Trinidad and Tobago's Coast Guard, and right, I said before that there was a capsized barge. That barge remains unplugged, and the spill has spread miles from Tobago's shore. And Tobago's, this where, you know, it's the epicenter. But Trinidad, we understand, has alerted Venezuela and Grenada of possible impact of the oil spill on their own coastline. We understand that it's spreading in the Caribbean waters. So, not quite sure. We understand that the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency, which is dependent on regional group CARICOM, has activated a contingency plan, and this was said on Friday. So a barge, we understand, pulled by a tugboat caused the spill, but details of the incident remaining unclear, including the type of petroleum leaking, the ship's intended destination, the owner. Well, we're hearing some things about the owner now, and if any members of the crew were lost, because we're not hearing about the crew. We don't know if people are still on the ship. It's overturned, and we understand that by Friday gone, the slick had reached about 144 kilometers. That's 89 miles into the Caribbean Sea, and was moving at a rate of 9 miles per hour. The Edwin Ramkinson, who makes a living fishing there, said, "This looks like it will continue for a few weeks. I cannot simply sit down and do nothing. I need help cleaning my boat before moving to another port on the Caribbean side." The barge is believed to have carried as much as 35,000 barrels of fuel oil. And this is according to Tobago officials. But what we're seeing now is that the island's beaches have been blackened, and the wildlife is being affected. Tourism is also affected. Several beach and golf resorts in Tobago that typically receive foreign tourists have been forced to close across the ocean. And the nearby Scarborough cruise ship port is being protected from the spill by containment booms. So this is not looking so good, not sounding so good. Trinidad, they say, is considering declaring a tier 3 emergency that would allow it to obtain foreign assistance to deal with the spill. This is according to Prime Minister Keith Rowley. He gave a press conference on Friday. First responders and volunteers in Tobago have so far collected, that's at Friday, 2,000 barrels of oil, but the islands is short of protective team equipment, volunteers and crews. This is according to TEMA. So there's a whole lot going on here, because we don't hear no big, we don't see a lot on the news. We don't hear a lot on even our local news. But this is happening, and it seems to be pretty serious happening right here in the Caribbean. But the thing that bothers me and boggles the mind is FUFA ship, why the ship, where was it going? What kind of situation was this? What kind of situation? Who were involved in this? It's 2 minutes now, going up to 9 o'clock. You're inside of the Africa Forum. This is Running African. Morning to you, my sister Arlene. I need some more Gwe. The Gwe mosquito spray is very good. Very, very good. Gwe. Very good. Morning to you, my brother Jawari Akhenaton. Good morning, morning. Morning to you, my sister Donna Mattis. How you doing? Sanika Butler, good morning to you. Omaliwa Tia, good morning. Ambleton Ray, good morning. Iridata Teacher, good morning. Isis. Morning to you, Kevin Nairiri. Kevin Nairiri says, Kabu, I'm against the massive construction of what the developer is calling Pinnacle in St. James. I am not aware of any environmental study, land-bearing study, traffic study, and any critical high-rise fire and rescue training for what is being described as the tallest building in the Caribbean. In the event of a fire or natural disaster, how will Jamaica Fire Brigade manage the rescue of people from 4 high-rise towers, villas, bars, restaurants, and shopping centres? And what hospital will accommodate those residents? Who will these residents be? Like Oyster Bay Resort, the best land is being made available for the use and pleasure of foreign investors or white tourists. We have no similar coastal protected areas or beaches for our enjoyment. He says, at some point in the future, all past deals that the government of Jamaica has made with foreign governments and investors will be revisited. Yes, I do agree with you, Kevin. Well said, well laid out. Couldn't have put that better myself. Let me take a quick break. I'll be right back. Oh, no? Let me go to Dwight. I think Dwight is standing by. And the Sigma Sagicor run happening in New Kingston. It's a minute after 9 o'clock. Dwight, you there?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Loud and clear.
Well, at this juncture, though, Kabu, as the curtain set to come down on the 2024 Sagicor Sigma Honor Run, I just want to tell you that we have the winner, not with us though. I've gone to presentation. Garfield Gordon of UCT Steppers, 17 minutes 46.00. And also on the ladies' side, we didn't get that official information. Finishing second though was Kemar Leslie of Rainforest and Noel Ellis on the men's side. So Garfield Gordon, UCT Steppers, 17 minutes 46.00. Interesting to note though, earlier on, and asked one of the Sagicor representatives as to the figure. We were aiming for $100 million this year in terms of charity, and we up to sports time was $109 million and counting.
Wow.
And yes. And I got some information also too from one of the Sagicor representatives that persons who wish to donate, and this is essential now, persons who wish to donate who did not participate, or even if you'd sign up and on the morning you couldn't make it here at Emancipation Park, you can still submit your donations, if you will. And the portal or that charity section of the contribution on the website is still open. They didn't say as to how long it will be open for, but I suppose maybe throughout the entire day. $109 million and counting. The locations to benefit this year, or the beneficiaries, if you will, the Savlamar Public General Hospital, the National Chest Hospital, and the Danny Williams School for the Deaf. And as I said before, hashtag Sagicor Sigma Run 2024, hashtag Sigma Honor Run, or hashtag Sigma Run 2024. There is where also too you can gather the race result. Earlier on, I gave the indication as to the direction where the runners and the walkers and the wheelers would go, but I made a slight error which I'd like to correct for my listeners. Instead of coming down on Southdale Avenue, the runners and the walkers went as far as to East Kings House Road near the Canadian High Commission, and then onto Constant Spring Road before coming into Halfway Tree, up Hope Road onto that road slipped me just now, Winchester Avenue, and then on to Ruthven, and then right here.
Christopher Zaka.
So Christopher Zaka is with us. How are you doing, Mr. Zaka? Welcome to the areas of RFM. You're at home.
Thank you, man. I'm doing well. I did the walk. So
I got myself come and see.
I'm a little sweaty. But it was great.
Yeah.
It was great. I'm so proud of my team at Sagicor, and
wonderful.
And all the support we have gotten from the whole of Jamaica, really.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Zaka, the people have come out this morning, man.
Boy, you can't believe that crowd. The sight. It's unbelievable. 27,300 people.
27,300.
That's the stadium, you know.
Wow, the National Stadium.
Yeah,
yes. Approximately.
Yeah.
So looking at the turnout today, though, almost every company in Jamaica represented with a booth. Because this is the first time in recent memory that I'm seeing booths set up now on the outside in front of Pegasus on that long stretch there.
Right. So look, the honor run is what we call this one in honor of Danny Williams, right? Danny Williams, the late Danny Williams was the founder of Sagicor Jamaica, Cypher Jamaica. He was chairman of the foundation that that's in charge of the Sigma Run. And I think people really just stepped up for Danny. They did it for Danny, and as you said, the corporate support has been unbelievable. I mean, hundreds of companies have come out in support.
How you feel this morning, though, when you look at it in terms of the participation?
I feel overwhelmed and just proud. You know, it's for the greatest cause. We raised a record amount of 109 million plus. And the beneficiaries, the Savlamar Hospital, the National Chest Hospital, and the Danny Williams School for the Deaf.
Yes.
They're going to be the ones that benefit the most from this. So it's really just about Jamaica coming out and giving back. Giving back.
The target was, before we wrap it up, the target was set as $100 million. Earlier on, as I was saying to the listeners and to Kabu, the host of the program, which we're inside now, that we're surpassing 109 million. You know where we are now?
Well, for the next couple of days, we'll finalize the tally, but for right now, we're 109 million and mash.
For those still wishing to donate, I know that the portal is still open on the website.
Absolutely. And every penny goes to the beneficiaries. Sagicor covers all costs.
Yes.
Every single cost. And every penny that is donated goes to the beneficiaries.
And it will be open right through today or for the rest of the week, do you know?
I don't know, but it's open right now. So hurry up and give, folks, if you haven't given yet. This is for the best cause.
Mr. Christopher Zaka.
Is it me? I think we've lost Dwight. Dwight, you there? Not sure what's happening. All right. So I think we lost Dwight. Let me know if you're hearing. Let me know what's happening. I think we lost Dwight. We lost you. I know you were wrapping up. But let me know what's on your mind. Let me take a quick break.
Get more with Bill Express. Ever wondered if there's a way to avoid bill payment fees? Pay no fees with Bill Express Online. Sign up today. It's fast. It's free. It's Bill Express Online. Just one more reason to pay with Bill Express. Bill Express, a member of the Grace Kennedy Financial Group.
Ray Nephew, white overproof rum, Footloose. Let loose with fashion over style at Maat's Camp on Saturday, February 24th. Admission $1,500 pre-show, $2,500 at the gate. Ladies 2 for 1 before 11. Ray Nephew, white overproof rum, Footloose. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Register right now at islandmusicconference.com for IMC 24, February 21 through 25. Attend the Chairman's Dinner. Network with the who's who in global music. Attend and participate on panels with industry heavyweights. Do the 2-day Songwriters Workshop. Perform on a showcase. Access YouTube, Spotify, Meta, Amazon, Audiomack, VP, and more. IMC, uniting the world through music.
Yeah, this is Protege inviting you to the Lost in Time Festival.
Lost in Time Fest, featuring a special joint performance by Protege, Leela, Ike, and Jesse Royal, with major performances by Romain Virgo, Jan 9, Savannah, Samurai I, and more. February 24, Hope Gardens, 2 stages, music, food, family. Tickets online at lostintimefestival.com, outlets, Kaya, Pimento, and the live store. Lost in Time Fest, Jerry Toads, 8 Spring Water, Red Stripe Maintenance, Jamaica Tours, TV Cell, Mother's Day Hotel, and many more. A reggae endorsed event.
The following is a paid event by the Jamaica Web TV.
Jamaica people, JLP building line, eating less, now pay the line. Build for you and your community. We'll build up Jamaica, importing good policies, yeah. Build up a life for you and for me.
Seating was a paid announcement by the Jamaica Party.
All right, with you inside of the Africa Forum. This is African, and I'm joined in studio. My brethren, my good. I've known this for such a long time, and I've endorsed him, this very funny thing, because it has nothing to do with party. So Michael Bale Davis is in the studio, councillor caretaker candidate for the O3S Division, business mayor of St. Anne's Bay. How are you doing, Mr. Michael Bale?
In Kabu, we've been here for so long. IRFM is just our own right here in O3S.
Yes. I tell people, something I say in this space of time, and if every constituency could have been like when Shahini did at Ochi. Yes. I'm saying, carelessly, but it is true, because there was no hint of tribalism. We understood, but there was no hint of tribalism.
Never.
Then there's this other thing where she said, and I said to you one time, she always pointed to you, come say, talk to Michael. If she couldn't do that, she said, talk. And here you are. And then over the time, we became pretty close as a result of.
Absolutely.
I said to you one time, I saw you at the IRFM event here. The last time I saw you.
I'm always here.
And I go, why you're not wrong? Right.
Yes.
But you told me that this was in the word.
Yes.
I'm happy that you got in the race. Who is your PNP counterpart?
Natalie, a young lady from the town. I don't know too much about.
Okay. Yeah. I know you're not coming to push Lee, but hey, this is our legs anyway, Yes. In St. Anne. So you are former and to be a mayor, obviously you go through the route of being a councillor
first, and then your colleagues,
right.
You're elected to be mayor and chosen. The system needs to change that. I believe that you're not accountable to councillors, accountable to the people.
Right.
So if the councillors choose you to be a colleague mayor, then there's some accountability to the councillors. I feel that system, to me, it should be where you're accountable to the people. The mayor should be representative of the parish and the entire parish for the mayor. It's my personal perspective on it.
You have been an active person in O3S in St. Anne, the Southeast St. Anne, for a very, very long time. What makes you so committed to the region?
God, I started off as third youngest candidate to make the most honorable role is now. We started out with the G2K, what was the predecessor to the G2 Young Leaders Council, and 95. 1995. Yeah. Started out in business 92.
And I remember you from the business, because IRFM is 1990, and you were in business in Ochi in the early days. So remember that, yeah.
So I started business young, started as a politician young, and a commitment to both. And I did to, have great balance, and I figured that I could do it if I really focused, because I always had a lot. I was head boy at Color back in the day. I was an elected senator at the university. So I when I went to school full time. So I was always So I always thought that, I could manage both. And 30 years later, I've been able to manage both. I'm a kind of jack of all trades. I'm master of none.
You've always had, though. That is something you always say.
Yeah.
So listen, and I said what makes you so committed to the region, because it is true for us working here at IRFM and have to deal the private sector, but also deal with the part of the day. One of the things we know is that you always make yourself, not only that, you always support initiatives and so on, other things that, which party is in power. You're always there to say, can we do this in Ochi? How do we do this in Ochi? How do we do this in St. Anna? And this is find out from you. Level of committed to the region. For me, it looks to me like it goes party.
Absolutely. Kabu, I've been home for so long. It's a town that I live in. It's a town that I live in from. I'm committed to the town. I believe the vision that I have is kind of because of my foreign experience, school abroad and so on. I'm coming back here and, really doing big things in business. A lot of the big do, or it has to do with innovation. We were the first, one of the first 6 Western Union in Jamaica, when we started, there were 6 locations. We started wholesale shopping, which never exists by day. Buy 3, get a discount, that type of thing.
I remember.
We bought in containers of quarters into Jamaica for people in Ocha, so poor people could have chicken. Back in the people usually came back. So we kind of elevated standards in business. And then we were with Deal and so on when we first came innovative thing again. So wanted to carry some of that vision politics of the region, and I said, let me try and make Ocho a space to live, work for family, and really help build. So things to really create the vibe in around the place, and please come to me, whether it be the park, whether it be people that's looking support to say, how is it that we partner some relationship and do things and more. So we developed the buckle ground, we put in an amphitheater, then put in light, we got public-private partnership with Sandal, who gave us 10 million to do the netball courts, and we've been able to always get around the area. A lot of them around our public-private partnerships. Other areas will have to government funding to do so on. We will never get the private sector.
How do you balance the public-private partnership, that it's a trap for the politicians and a trap for men, in that private sector becomes so ingrained and involved in parts that you find yourself making a choice in many cases sector at the expense of the people. How do you understand?
Because everybody can me, because I've been in business for so long, and I deal with all the
Thank you.
Hope Institute hospitals as one leg in the region. So in total, we were 170 persons coming out today.
Wonderful.
The Southeast Regional Health Authority have had over 125 persons also bus them to the hospital.
Yes.
So we are well supported today.
No, come out to the numbers.
Yes, man, the numbers are out.
Don't tell me say you beat me, do you know? Let me see your number. What? 11666. All right, I'll make sure.
Yes,
check on the website. Yeah. But overall, though, you're happy that your team were able to participate this morning.
Yeah, man, we're happy that we could participate, and we're happy for the support from Sagicor and the people of Jamaica who came out in their numbers to ensure that Sagicor not only made the figure that they gave, but made over $9 million more.
Yes,
on the
and
figure
counting.
That they gave.
Yes, and counting.
And counting, and persons are still giving. Jamaica, it's a wonderful event, wonderful support. And we watch as Sagicor continue to support health service in Jamaica.
Dwayne, thanks so much again.
Thank
Dwayne
you
Francis,
so much.
CEO, Chest Hospital. And of course, we'll talk later again, Dwayne.
Yes.
Thanks again. All right, we get set now to throw it back to Kabu as she finished up that interview. But just to tell you that as the curtains come down here on the 2024 staging, IRFM, certainly we're happy to be part of it. I understand, Errol, before we throw it back to Kabu and wrap up, that our IT manager was expected to be here as well, but I didn't see him as well, Garfield. So I'll find out later on the website as to where Garfield finished, if at all he participated.
You know, Dwight, you're so wicked. You're such a wicked person because Garfield won. Listen now, I'm going to take up from Mr. Garfield. And listen, Garfield won every single.
Turn no,
you're such a wicked person because you want to know win.
Talk to me.
Because you don't run. And because you come so last-ish that you're throwing it off now from poor Garfield. And Garfield win every race in one. You're wicked. And I want to tell you something.
I heard that. but we don't see the results yet, you know. So until the results are in, ma'am.
Yes.
We can't say anything at Kabu.
Okay. Please let me have those results, right?
Yeah. But no, you're going to load it up next week.
I know, and I need them.
Yes.
I'll see you
Thanks
soon.
Again.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, man.
I'll see you on the campaign trail.
Yeah, I'll be on the campaign trail as a reporter for I Reckon. Yes.
All right. Well, good. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, man. Blessing.
All right. Dwight Fraser at the Sagicor Sigma Run happening in New Kingston. And in studio with me, Michael Belnavis, who is the councillor candidate, JLP for Northeast St. Anne. No stranger to this space and no stranger to the Wedding African family. Michael, we were talking about the craft vendors, and you're pointing out that this is also one of your concerns, right?
Yes.
I hear you saying that something has been done at the pier to ensure that craft vendors who are there, but you have to be at the pier. What about the other outposts, like the craft vendors up here in Pineapple and the different markets across Northeast?
Well, you have the food market and you have the actual craft markets, plural. They're in a bad situation because I've worked with them over the years, and I more than anyone else, I've advocated for them. But there are some fundamental issues in the infrastructure, the homogeneity of the products, just the commitment from the drivers to come there, this payola system that is entrenched.
The payola system that is entrenched.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, that is where the drivers get paid from the vendor to bring their guests to the location.
And which vendor can afford that? So which vendors usually are doing that?
Well, most if you want drivers to come to your place, you have to essentially pay them, and in payment it could be, you give them if it's a restaurant, they get a meal and or a % of the dining for the people that they bring.
So I think this is the crux of the matter, and you are aware of it. You said that it's entrenched.
Yeah.
What can be done about it? Obviously, there's something that the Cruise Ship Association, of which you're a chairperson, can do, can't you?
Well, we've been trying to get some moral suasion going in that we say.
But not now work. A long time ago on that now work.
It's not easy because, for one, the cruise companies themselves do not want to send people to the craft shops. They've put it in writing, and we've had meetings to discuss it. And they showed me the letter from the cruise, the FCCA.
What
saying that they don't want to come because of harassment, look and feel of the place not up to scratch, the homogeneity of the products. In other words, everybody is selling the same thing. It's not a good experience for the guests, things of that nature, a lot of complaints. So it's a very negative letter that was gotten. Ed Bartlett wanted to have another market built where right beside the Jerk Center, to incorporate artisans and make it artisans village, as they did in Trelawney, and the vendors said they didn't want that. They wanted to stay at the same location that they're at. And I said to them, but this one is it's outgrow the utility of it, because there's so many new, because the population has increased and there are more vendors, so you need more space. And you need and you need to look at a whole new approach to this thing. It can't just be you're selling something. You need to have an experience. So experience has to be when you come now. You have like entertainment. It's like a bazaar, and oh, by the way, selling goods also and different products and so on. So it's not just coming to buy 2 t-shirts.
Yeah, we can learn something from places like Egypt on this. I've always said it, and the minute you say bazaar, but it hurts me so though, because the cruise ship has said that so you have that on the one hand, then you have the other hand where the payola system. and it's awful.
It's a recipe for failure in its current state.
Yes. So, what's your suggestion in terms of what can you do with your team, with the Member of Parliament? What can you do?
My suggestion is that we move ahead with a new approach to the tourism product. We now look at a whole new approach in the sense that we go ahead and put together this artisan village. The village has to incorporate entertainment. It has to incorporate selling of products, both food. Gastronomy has to be a part of it. So you have little restaurants in there also, public-private partnerships. So you have little stalls, people selling foods, everything. In other words, when you come to there, it's an experience. It's not just because coming to buy some T-shirts or some junk or beads or something of that nature. It has to be where you come in for entertainment, you come in for food. You have the clothes there, you have the shoes, the trinkets and so on. Bob Marley, people come in and they have a little Bob Marley thing there. Appleton come in and they have Appleton experience there.
Where do you see this happening in terms of?
Right by the Jerk Center, the UDC lands.
Which Jerk Center?
The Ochiers Jerk Center right here.
Oh, all of that is UDC land?
Yeah, right, yeah. And it's just sitting there.
But it's not like that's a small.
Yeah, man, it's huge, acres. That is,
it go back inside?
Yeah, man, right. And they're building a 2 high-rise right there. So you're looking at, I would say that at about 4 acres of land, adequate for parking, for buses to come in, and that would just transform that entire
and then this
space.
Could absorb the craft vendors who are in the other craft markets.
So in other words, they'll have to leave where they are, and that's the problem. Nobody wants to leave where they exist in place.
But the interesting thing is that it's not far from anywhere else.
It's not far. And it's right on the main. You know, the funny thing, when I sat down, I explained to them, I showed them the vision, and they said, well, I like the vision, but we don't want to leave here. We can't do it right here. I said, no, it's too small.
I would like to hear from the craft vendors why they're saying no, because on the face of it, it makes sense. Yeah. In that way, would that satisfy the cruise shipping issue? But
absolutely.
What about the payola? How would that mitigate?
If business is demanding. You ever seen outside of a supermarket, taximen converge, the higglers converge, and people converge outside the supermarket. If it's a popular supermarket, and the one that's not popular, there's no taximan out there for walks, the type of thing. Yes. Once the business, you create the demand pull. So in other words, all of those drivers going to have to come there because what? Everybody going to want to come there. So you create that thing. So you have to depend on sucking up to the driver and say, look, I'll give you $100 if you bring one person or whatever the case may be. They'll bring their people because the people will be demanding to hear about this new,
the bottom line for me that at least you have a solution to it. And on the face of it don't sound like a bad solution. I'm very concerned about the craft vendors and the fact that they have been left, just hanging like that. And then obviously the payola system, we have been hearing about this forever. That is similar to the media, but it's something that has to be cauterized. So then, I want to go back quickly to access to the beaches because I'm not quite sure. All right, so we have a lot of the beaches that are now locked off. I heard you saying that the system isn't working, the all-inclusive system that denies the public entrance to the beaches. Yeah. Is there something concrete that you have planned to address it?
Well, the idea is that we want to develop all the existing public spaces that will accommodate as many people as possible, that are and insist that it's free to the public. Little Duns River. There are areas along the coastal driveway, which there are beaches there
that don't go on it, right?
That don't go on it, that can be developed,
right?
And then and it's all UDC lands.
Okay.
So if we can move along that spirit, because I think the horse has already gone through the gate in terms of the all inclusive. So I don't think that can be reversed.
Let us say that
there's more space.
All right, but those spaces exist, and we know those spaces exist, but we see them being fenced off even as we speak.
Even if they're fenced off, they're UDC, and it's up to the government and the new member of parliament that's coming, Matthew Samuda, to make it happen.
For the election one already?
No, it hasn't yet. Has to be.
But maybe Matthew Samuda is a new member of parliament.
No, did I say that?
Yeah, you did say
that. Probably a Freudian slip. No, Marsha is the member of parliament.
So whoever, you just discount the PNP totally.
Oh gosh. Well, down in this side of the world.
So you're saying but from where you stand, you've lived in the area, you live, you work, you live and breathe this area, you know exactly how it works. Yes. I hear you saying that this point you're making about what can be done in making, building new roads into a lot of these spaces that still exist on the coastline, that whether them fence off or not, there's still UDC spaces, that this is something that can practically be done.
Of course.
All right.
The reason why they fence off because they don't want the squatting, but people like the front page, so they just go and set up a thing, and it's hard to remove people once they're on. But the space is there. The town is just starting to really come into its own, and you're going to see where it's just going to take off within the next few years. I've always said that this is a place to be, to live, work, and grow your children. And so many people are coming into this space now that it has just started to really mushroom, and Ultras in particular and surrounding areas are going to see the boom. Have you seen the development that's going on in the place?
I see the development, but the point you made earlier is that, well, you have the development on the one hand, but and there's some people who are benefiting, but on the other hand, we have poverty still growing. And you talk about skilled workers, you talk about opening or tapping into existing training centers. Not quite sure how the Heart NTA is working in terms of getting people who need to be trained, how people can access those places. But we hear this whole conversation about the Prime Minister says it, and he says it a whole lot. We don't have the necessary skills.
Well, Kabu,
but I don't believe that's still enough. But
the skill set is here, and the school system is great down this side. We have the best high schools are right here in St. Ann, with Westwood and Hilders and so on. Top 5 in Jamaica.
York Castle
and so on. Of course.
Yeah, I don't know. You're going to live with York Castle.
I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
But,
and we see Ultras High doing so well. So there are a lot of schools in this region that turning out, a lot of children who are educated. But we still have a lot of children, a lot of students who are leaving school who still, especially boys, who still can't read. Who the education system is leaving behind, especially those who are attending the non-traditional high schools.
Yeah, Marcus Garbage did a fantastic job with the new principal there.
Yes.
And really turning around that school. You mentioned Ochi High. I'm at every graduation for the last 10 years.
They're doing pretty well now.
They're doing fantastic. They need more space. Their athletic system could be a little, more.
So why are we saying that we do not have the necessary people to fill the positions? Why are we saying that?
Well, maybe they're not trained, but then again, the jobs that are created along the coast here are really low end. Now, with the advent of the development, I expect that some, the call centers and so on are one step above. Say working in a store and things of that nature, but still relatively low end. We have to move into more technology now. We have to move into more agricultural stuff, utilizing factories and so on. It's not just factory workers and so on, because when we say factories, it could be high tech factories too. Where it takes a greater skill set to do some of these things.
So, what is your vision for agriculture? That is. You raised it just now.
St. Ann is not just tourism. St. Ann in the hills of St. Ann, not necessarily an Ultras per se, but a garden development in the backyard is so important because I don't know if you realize that majority of the chicken in Jamaica is not from Best Rest or CB. It's from the lady mom and pop people raising their little chicken. That's the biggest part of the business. People don't talk about it. But if everyone was to do some chicken rearing, some planting a tree or two. One tree can send a children to school, One lighty tree.
Yes.
Because it's so much a pound for lighty.
We should lighty there sometime?
Yeah. What are you talking about?
We can get some sucker. A whole different interview. We can get lighty sucker.
Right. It's really, I think the hills, that's really St. Mary's side.
St. Mary come from, which was St. Mary?
Right now, I'm right up my Gale side. And so I planted I make a farm up there and I planted a whole bunch.
So we get some lighty sucker now?
I work up one.
Although never make a politician do you a favor.
Right.
But anyway, I'm a brethren. We can't beg him lights to come. All right. So you also have a vision for agriculture.
Yes.
I really want to see, we hear a lot before elections. And I'm going to be very fair to you. I've interviewed you many, many times. Yeah. And to be fair to you, anything we talk about, if you're not started, you push for it to be started, or you start it and complete it.
Absolutely.
This is my experience with you.
Thank you.
So, and so in that regard, bearing in mind what you've just said, you talk about what you're going to be doing regarding access to the beaches, Little Duns River in particular, and then other areas. You talk about the craft vendors. Now you're talking about agriculture. You're looking at the extent to which all-inclusive tourism is negatively impacting the people of this area, and so that there's a whole lot on your plate. Do you have a time frame in which you expect to begin to deal with some of these?
Absolutely. You have to work within a 5-year time span, because things take time to happen. That's why I said I've only been here for one term. It was a long one term, but still one term. So, we got a lot of things that we're able to do done. So for the next dispensation, we spoke about it, the agriculture, with sports for the young people, issues associated with craft vending, that we want to ensure that, they get a whole new space. Issues associated with the beaches and so on, with Little Duns River. Those are things that I expect to get right off the bat within the next 5 years. And not into the 90-day thing.
5 years. Right. We hear you, within the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It's a lot, so we listen closely to what you're saying. What kind of a power and authority does a councillor, and even if the councillor is named mayor later on, have in these issues? So,
it depends on the person. As far as I'm concerned, you have to have a mayor that has a connection with the business community, that has connection with the party that is running the government. So, in other words, you have relationship with some of the ministers. You have to ensure that you yourself, as an individual, you have some level of credibility and respect out there by the people, so you can do the moral suasions and so on to ensure that people react to your decisions and your influence out there. For example, if we recall when Ochiros was named the tourism town, in the best tourism town, because we were able to get all the taxis off the road. They had to conform to a certain regulation. They come to the transportation center. There was no vending in the town, but that to be.
And when you say all the taxis off the road, just so there's no misunderstanding, to get order in terms of how traffic was
traffic flow and so on. We had the transportation center open, put lights in there, so they were able to go into the transportation center. And then we said after 6 o'clock, they could come out to the transportation center once the blue light was going by the police there. So we had a good synergy going with the constabulary force and things. So everybody knew that after 6 o'clock, you could do vending, the jerkman could come out and so on. And everybody we had an order. Kind of one order running in the town. We created additional spaces for vending within the transportation center, periphery, and within the market periphery, and within the parking lot themselves. So that created a lot of entrepreneurial development, so people were able to get their, start a business, little shops and so on. So then drinks and stuff like that. But the thing is that we took them off the street. So there was no congestion and so on.
That was brilliant. That was brilliant, because you could be in the traffic in Ochiros for 3 hours just trying to reach from Ochi to come up here. But we see a new thing happening though, where the traffic has backed up again, where the housing boom, if you'll call it, where there's so many houses going up, so many businesses going up, where now we have a similar thing happening to what we saw in Ochi. Like if you're coming from Miami Bay, for example, or anywhere in St. Anne's Bay to Ochi at, any given time of the day, you can be in traffic for forever, right, Big A? So Big A, and they are being witness.
Side to every side. Why are you coming into Ochi?
Yeah, so what do we need a bypass? Another bypass, a bypass?
Well, that's not a bypass anymore. That's a mainstream road.
Right.
What we look at that from the Prime Minister has promised us, that they will be doing, I know an enhancement to the road from Montego Bay all the way through to Ochias, and to include Landover and that whole space leading to White River itself. So I'm looking forward to that. That has to be a big priority. That probably will happen within the next 5 years also.
Well, I just watch and see. And no 5-year plan are going right. Just remember, so we normally keep them tape and play them back for ever and ever. Amen. We work right here. So quickly, we don't, because we're running out of time. The Marcus Garvey, because I know one of, along with Shiny yourself, that one of the things that you worked on closely that never really happened was the Marcus Garvey house. Yes, the birthplace.
Yes. So we're in sync. No, it happened, It's Kabu.
What happened?
The Prime Minister came down along with Olivia Babsy-Grange, and they handed over a house to the sister. Not the sister. One of the siblings.
Oh, two of the siblings. Yes, I know about that. But
so that was done. So they got the house in St. Anne's Bay. The house itself was Marcus Garvey's birthplace is to be developed as a national shrine.
So the house is empty now?
The house is, well, there are people there, but it is, as far as I understand, it is now the property of the ministry of Babsy Grange's ministry.
Of culture. So when are we going to see it
developed?
Yes. What's going to happen? And when?
As far as I understand, it is in the works right now. It's in the works right now. So you can see that within the next few years also. Because that has to be, it's not just a house that's going to be built. It's going to be a national shrine and so on. And, it's going to be a place where tourists can come and see people who support that whole, Marcus Garvey's, legacy. And which is a very important legacy because he's our first national hero and so on. And you are a big advocate of that. And, I know that, your entity here at IRFM does something every year. And when we do it at the municipal corporation, we always ensure that you're there because you guys are, really pushing that agenda.
Even if you don't like Miss Peach, you invite me to talk. I know, I see you, yeah. But it's true, we work together, and I really appreciate the fact that you are willing to come in and sit down, knowing that there are many things that we don't agree on, but at the same time we can have an amicable conversation without cussing and quarreling, right, Big A?
But we're singing from the same hymn book, essentially, because I say, it's Ochi thing, there's a pact in Ochi, because the Ochi people is a small town. I was in town going, and we always say, boys, we're Ochi people.
Right.
And that's it's a PNP or JLP. We are Ochi people.
Exactly. And this is the thing that I think, you understand very well, and some others understand very well. Please tell, Matthew Samuda that we're still inviting him to this space, because we're Ochi people.
Yeah, we're Ochi people.
We don't have a color problem.
No.
We see everything irie.
Yeah.
All right,
no pun intended there, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much, Michael Belnavis. Thank you to the sisters for coming in. And we couldn't see us inside us.
When we lose.
I see where the sisters were really looking at me seriously that if me did ever say anything that out of the weird, I'm sorry for me insider today. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much, I really
we look
appreciate
forward to having another conversation with you, to hearing more about what your plans are, and then probably, no matter what happens after the elections, please come and have a conversation with us, all right?
Super.
All right. Michael Belnavis.
Yeah.
Making way now for the big inside of a Sunday Sunshine. Thank you so much for joining us on the 107s everywhere how you join us. Thank you so much for writing in, tweeting in, for listening in. Thank you to Shamara Preston for coming in. Thank you so much, Shamara. And the Big A is getting ready. Big A, did you see the Bob Marley movie?
Everything good?
You see, I'm a Michael attacking on a gun. You see, this is the point we're making.
Yeah.
Right, because... Well, I'm going to turn on the microphone, nobody not here, What you saying to me, saying because you have beard, fee beard, good. Yeah.
You'll soon get there. All right.
And then things are going. What good, my friend?
Thank you.
You see, I did hear this now because... And some things are going to say, walk with my sister. Yeah, man. All right, don't come shake my hand. Listen, I know the protectors of Michael Belnavis. Anyway, so Big A, did you see the movie?
No.
Not yet. Neither me. So we can't even have a conversation about it.
No.
Lord Stanbury seemed to come out with something saying, now that he has seen it, he's encouraging everyone to see it. He doesn't agree, it seems, with a lot of what is being said out there. we respect Lloyd Stanbury's perspective most times.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so
we certainly do.
So we'll go with Uncle Lloyd and go see it.
Yes, form your own opinions. It is, I believe, like any other Jamaican movie, we should support it because another.
That's my problem.
Another industry that you are yet to exploit,
and
we need to support it. We need to have more of these movies because I believe that there are many other Jamaican stories to be told, and this is a good catalyst. This is a good start.
Yeah,
and if this work, it will ignite the flame.
And I saw Amen One also. You remember Amen One? One. You remember One? You can't say Amen One now. One who used to be here, man, with us doing some of the programs. We'll remind you shortly. But so he has written about seeing the movie also and taking a similar perspective like Lloyd Stanbury. So, and these are two people that I... Who?
Mackie Contrast, remember?
Oh, what did he say?
Mackie is endorsing the movie, saying that he saw it. He saw it. And he's actually encouraging all Jamaicans to go out and see it. He says he does not agree with all of the critics.
Yeah, this is the point. I'm reading people whose opinions I trust, and a lot of them are saying this. Whereas at the same time, Kishima saw it. What did she say?
People should go and watch it for themselves.
See it now, Kishima too. So we're not done.
Oh yeah, Kishima saw it last night. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. All right. Well, I got a call late last night though from a professor who we interviewed many times in this space, who is Dr. Godfrey Vincent, and he said it's a whitewashing of Bob Marley's story. So you have that on one hand. On the other hand, though, majority are saying, go see it for yourself because this is just one segment of Bob Marley's life. And, you probably need 5, 6, 7 more movies, but this is just one element of it.
Well, as Dr. Taylor says, all this noise, it's all Marley gripe and Fluxy complaint.
Oh, name that was Dr. Taylor.
Unveiling Taylor.
Marley gripe and Fluxy complaint. Marley gripe, we love that. I didn't see that. All right, well, I'm going to see the movie in short order, and when I do, I'll come back and give my report on what I think about the movie. But most people that I know, whose opinions I trust, who have seen the movie, have said, listen, it's all Marley gripe and Fluxy complaint. So go see the movie for yourself as we make way for the big game. By the way, Vibes Cartel trial, you're following that?
Yes. I am following.
And you agree that with the eminent lawyer, my friend Bert Samuels?
It does seem at this point to be tilting in the favor of cartel. But you know how trials go.
Right. But you're watching it closely? I'm not following you.
Not as intensely as I could have, because I'm distracted with many other things.
And we're talking about the appeal, not the trial, but the Vibes Cartel appeal, just in case people wonder what we're talking about.
Right.
All right. Well, it's a busy news time, and we're making way for the Big A inside of the Sunday sunshine. Oh, no, let me take the time signal. Big A is up next. It's 5 after 10.